come. Here we come. Walk down the street. Get the funniest
look from
everyone with me. Hey, hey, golden monkey. We're gonna drink you down. We're gonna celebrate you and tell everyone around.
All right. Golden Monkey, Shagdog.
Jammer. We'll give this a shot. I'm not a big fan of Golden Monkey. I don't know about you, Shagdog. You seem to be a big fan of it, but
no. It's a Belgian style Tripel Ale. It's 9.5% ABV with added spice.
Mystical flavors to enlighten you. Nose is loaded with Belgian yeast character of banana and clove, with an equally fruity body balance with a light earthy hop character, savor notes of orange and spice, followed by a dry finish. Yes, and this on the Beer Advocate gets an 84 by the BA and a 9.5 ABV.
And
a magical a magical mystical monkey whose golden soul glows with the wisdom of ages. This radiant ale is rich in the spirited tradition of Belgian-inspired brewing. Our golden monkey is both playfully delightful and profoundly satisfying. Exotic spice from the east rounds out this global journey to joy. Get aboard. This monkey's bound for glory.
This monkey is spanking his own monkey.
So the monkey is spanking his monkey.
Yeah, you know I don't like Belgian style ales or anything, so we'll see how we go with this one.
I poured it hard, because everybody likes the monkey to be hard.
That's like a 5-finger head there.
That's a fist. I'm going to give it all.
At least 4-finger.
Yeah.
Unless you're a dainty-fingered man, then it might be a 5-finger.
Yeah. Then you might as well get fist.
Yeah. My head went away. I didn't give it a very aggressive pour at all. Head's gone. A little film.
This is from Downingtown, PA.
Yeah, Victory Brewing. We've had a couple by these guys. I think you did this particular one you've done a few months ago by yourself. But
you know what's funny about it is we've done Victory Brewing. I remember their one Saison. Remember that we did years ago?
Yeah.
Wasn't a big fan of it.
No.
But they seem to go into the Belgian, French, and style type of beers,
Yeah. Which is odd coming from Pennsylvania, where you have a lot of Polish, a lot of Germans, must be a French, Downingtown, PA, or wherever it's called. Must be a lot of Belgian, French-based type families there, I guess.
People tease the French, about surrendering and everything like that, but they endured an occupation, so
yeah, they did. I mean, and they did have the resistance.
Yeah.
So
in some ways, I guess they were smart to go ahead and, all right, so we're going to hide all the very valuable stuff. We're going to try our best to make it look like we're okay with it,
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're going to resist in every way, form, every time they want to try to do something, we're going to be in the background trying to recap.
Yeah, I mean, it was good for them because, they didn't have mass civilian casualties because of that, so
especially after World War I, they were decimated on the male front.
Yeah. And France has probably had more civilian casualties once England, France, or England, Canada, America, after D-Day, with them moving through France, they probably had more civilian casualties during that than they did with the German invasion, actually.
Yeah.
caught in the
Well,
crossfire and all that.
mine Shagdog is cloudy with little streaks of discoloration in it.
Yeah.
A little milky, almost. The head, egg white head, frothy, quickly disappearing. Yours
I'm
is
in a higher elevation, so my head went away pretty quickly.
I don't know if you're getting that smell. There's a couple different smells that I get. I'll get the clove. I don't know why this
Yeah, I definitely get the clove.
clove was in there, and malty, banana, clove,
Yeah, a little bit of
a
banana.
little citrus. You know, the spice.
Yeah, smells great.
It does. It smells like the typical tripel that most people would. Maybe some cardamom, and I'm not sure, but maybe some cardamom in there. You know,
Cartman from South Park.
yeah, that fat little boy.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
ready to drink it.
I am too. Let's go ahead and drink it. Cheers, Shagdog. Let's drink.
Let's do it. 9.5%. Let's do it. Ooh.
Yes, dry, spicy, banana, bready,
Yeah.
malt, dried fruit. Light and crisp. You know, it's got all these wonderful things in it.
Wow. Wonderful. You know, I'd be a world of hurt if they say, you know what, all beers have become extinct except for Belgian beers. I'd be like, what the?
I guess I'm going to straight alcohol. My
I mean,
heritage, I'm Irish Italian, so I'll have an amaretto whiskey, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to get used to it, I guess. But I mean, I just
followed by a tiramisu.
Yeah.
Get that, Shagdog. A tiramisu.
I don't know what the hell a tiramisu is. What's that, a haircut?
It's a dessert.
Oh, sounds like some sort of haircut.
Haircut? What the hell?
Yes, I'll have the tiramisu, please. It's like an Italian bowl cut.
I want some more, please.
Please, Governor, may I have some more?
You want s'mores?
May I have another?
Do we look like we have a campfire? We don't have any graham crackers around here, little boy.
Well, I mean, you get what is it? Saison? Oh no, it's a Belgian style Tripel ale.
Yeah, you forgot the style midway through the beer review.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of any Belgian style Saisons, Farmhouse, whatever Tripel. I do like some Belgian
that
dark.
Was a Victory Farmhouse Saison we had that day.
Yeah, I like some of the Belgian darks are okay. Dark ale or whatever the hell they're called. Belgian strong dark ale. That's probably the only Belgians I like, actually.
Well, that's a whole nation that's going to be not liking you.
That means I like the blacks of Belgium, just like I like the blacks of Ireland. So say it loud.
Black and proud.
Black proud. Yes.
Brass monkey.
That funky monkey. Brass.
Yeah,
monkey
this is 9.5. I do slightly get an alcohol warming effect.
Yeah.
Overall, it's not bad. I mean, it's not my type of beer that I like because I don't care for that yeasty sweet. You know what I'm talking about, because you're right there with me on this, because I'm right there with you of the Tripels in general.
Right.
Despite I don't mind wheat beers that have the banana, that have the clove and all that stuff. I don't mind those. I mean, yeah, they're not my favorite, but I don't mind the bubblegum, banana,
All
clove,
this
cardamom
mild. Yeah.
flavors in it.
Yeah.
But this is a not. Don't get me wrong. Overall, I see why they sell it, and they sell a lot of it in general because it's not offensive. It's pretty easy to drink for a 9.5, and not my favorite, but I can drink it.
I mean, some of these styles we had actually that were actual from Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
This is pretty mild compared to some of those. I mean, with all
like what is that? Duvel, whatever.
Yeah, some of those were like 10 times all those flavors.
Sweetness.
Yeah, make me want to yak.
Yeah. Yeah, because you didn't like the delirium trimmings either. Isn't that a Belgian?
Could be.
I don't know. Is that actually a Belgian?
I'm surprised I'm drinking this as well as I am actually.
Delirium trimmings. Okay. That is. Well, that's the DTs. I wanted the beer. That's crazy, isn't it? Name it after a condition you have because you're an alcoholic.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. I was like, I'm delirium.
Belgian Pale Strong Ale is delirium trimming.
Have you ever had tremors? Delirium tremors?
No.
No, neither have I. So I guess we're not alcoholics then, right?
No, I've never been jonesing so bad that I had the shakes.
I haven't had my eye twitching before, but I don't know if that's.
Well, that's from eye strain from all the porn watching you're doing.
I don't know about that, but anyhow, I've had eye twitching before. I think that's a little bit of stress and stuff like that, though, from previous job.
Yeah. Overall,
I had an eye twitching problem going on for a whole month one time. I was like, is this shit gonna end? My eye was just fucking twitching for like a month.
Reminds me of I got my eye on you. I got my eye on. I got my eye on Billy Squire.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different one.
You're thinking about George Harrison.
I got my eye on you, baby. I got my eye on you. Is that?
Oh no, that's like Boys from the Hood or Boys on the Block or something.
It's like a soul song, R&B, right? I got my eyes on you, baby. I got my eyes on you. I don't know. Okay.
Somebody's watching me.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a one hit wonder right there. It wasn't. I don't even know if it was that big of a hit. Actually.
All I know is I want to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
My girl wants to party
all the time.
Party all the time. She parties all the time. But really, you don't want a girl that parties all the time.
No, you really don't.
I mean, it's nice to have that type of girl.
But hey, if you're in the party mode and you're partying all the time yourself, it's good to have a party girl because the party girl is going to do some freakish things.
But it's good to have a party girl. It's a part-time party girl, not full-time party girl. Yeah.
Well, that's if you're in a relationship with the party girl. If you got a party girl and you know, it's nice to be with a party girl.
Yeah. Even for eye candy, you don't even know her, but she's at the same club you go visit all the time. She's partying, dancing, twerking, whatever. You're like, yeah, I like that party. She gives me a couple visions.
Yeah, I'm gonna file that in number 1 file for Spank Bank.
Yeah, Spank Bank.
Spank Bank file 1.
Let me cash a check on that one tonight. Oh, Jammer. Well, The Flash comes out on. You've probably seen it already with the programs you got, but HBO
Just
Max.
for you to know, I don't need to hear you saying "Oh, Jammer." I hear that enough from women. I don't need to hear it from you.
What's that? Oh, Jammer. Oh, that's funny. Anyhow, Jammer. The Flash comes out on HBO Max on the 25th, I believe, which is Friday, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I'm like, fuck, there's an egg I gotta work. So, but I mean, I wonder if that movie is. They were hyping the movie up before it came out. Then they said it was bad after it came out.
What,
So
Flash?
yeah,
Gordon, you saved every one of us.
not Flash Gordon.
Oh.
Flash Barry Allen.
Flash Barry Allen?
Yeah.
What's a Flash Barry Allen?
That's the name. Barry Allen is the Flash in DC Comics, you know, the red suit guy.
You actually know his real name?
Well, actually, yeah. Wally West was also the Flash, was his nephew, which used to be Kid Flash. But when the Flash got killed in the 80s, Infinite Crisis, Wally West became the Flash. He was the Flash forever. Then, of course, in comics, they bring somebody back from the dead, but he was dead for a long time. They finally brought him back after like 30 years. Like that.
I just want to say I'm truly mesmerized by your ability to have infinite wisdom on the subject of superhero comics.
Yeah. Hey, I don't have. I wish I had more wisdom, but I have a little bit. I mean, I'm not like a total geek or anything, but a little bit of wisdom. Certain characters.
Oh no! You're not a geek, are you, Shagdog?
Well, I didn't buy. Yeah, I bought a few comics when I was a little kid. Firestorm. I actually had the first Firestorm comic, and then Luke Cage and Iron Fist. They were called Heroes for Hire. I actually had their first issue. I wish I had those still. They'd probably be worth money. Huh?
You know, the funny thing about it is, Shagdog, you know, nothing's wrong with that. Being a superhero, I actually am impressed by it because, you know, there's times where you're pulling out this information on the comic book heroes and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, I was into comics to a degree, but I was never really into comics enough to be able to learn like you just did. You named off the names of. Now you talk about Bruce Banner, right?
Yeah,
You talk about
David Banner.
Yeah,
they gave different names.
Yeah, and you talk about Clark Kent. Yeah, okay, I know them because I used to watch the Superman old TV show. Hey, Clark Kent. I'm a reporter with the Daily Granite or whatever it was called.
Daily Planet. And Spider-Man's with the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, and I, you know, and even with Spider-Man's name, his real name, what is it?
Peter,
whatever, Griffin.
Peter Parker.
Did you get my one?
Peter Griffin. Is that like the TV show?
You know what show, right?
I forget the name of the show though, but they've got the dog. Yeah.
I forget the name of the show too, but Peter Griffin. Yeah. I, you know, you name those off, I will know those, and I'm like, I'm there. Adam West. Adam West, Batman.
All right. Yeah, he is the real person to play Batman. Let me try the actual real, the secret identity of a superhero and see if you can guess who the superhero is. Ready?
Could we grade this though?
Yeah, let's go ahead and grade it.
All right. What are you thinking?
With this, it's not bad. I hate Belgian beers, but this is pretty smooth, easy, a little easier to drink than actual real Belgian beers.
Yeah.
I'd give it a I'll give it a B- and a swallow.
See, I was going to give it a B or a B plus, but I was teetering. So, you know,
teeter away, you teeter, you know.
I give it a straight up B and a swallow.
Yeah, just don't let the fat girl jump off the teeter when you're on it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get tired.
Or break your Peter, because that'd be terrible.
Did you hate that?
That's a long road to recovery.
You ever on a teeter-totter and someone hops off and you slam down real quick?
Well, I always jumped. Well, I won't say always, but most of the time I would put my feet down real fast, you know. catch
But
myself.
that was rude of somebody to do that. Imagine that shit. Now I'd go back and kick every kid's ass ever did that in history. Yeah.
Well, it's just like when you were going on the merry-go-round and people pushing it and then push you off or whatever, you know.
All right. Yeah. All right, Jim.
That was
Are
funny.
you ready for the superhero trivia? I'm going to give you the actual character name, and you got to
All
name the
right.
superhero.
Character.
I'll start off with some easy ones that you already mentioned or no. Yeah. Peter Parker,
Spider-Man.
Clark Kent,
Superman.
Bruce Wayne.
Batman.
I'll even give you one I just mentioned earlier. Barry Allen
The Flash.
and Wally West.
The Flash.
All right. That was good. All right. Now, Hal Jordan.
Air's brother.
That's Green Lantern.
You hear me?
Who's
Air's brother. Air Jordan's brother.
Aaron's brother. Yeah. Air Jordan. Hal Jordan. Yeah, that's funny. All right, let me go to Marvel because I guess we already did Peter Parker. I can't remember. I'm trying to think here. We did David Banner, Bruce Banner. I think Bruce is his name, but I think the TV show had him as David Banner or some shit. It was weird.
Hey, can you name Mr. McGee?
Mr. McGee?
With the superhero.
No, I can't.
Mr. McGee. Don't make me angry, Mr. McGee. Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Was that the Hulk?
Yes.
Well, who the hell is Mr. McGee?
The reporter that was chasing after him to expose him.
Oh. Fuck Mr. McGee. All right.
See, you start naming off side characters. It might be a little more difficult, huh?
Tony Stewart, right? Is that his name? Tony Stewart.
Yeah, Iron Man.
There you go. I'm trying to think of some of those characters. I can't think of their names, though.
But you see, some of this stuff I know because I watched the movies. See, I didn't actually get into the comic books. Yeah. See, back in the day when I was a kid, I got into several I did buy some comic books, but most of the time I was buying Mad Magazine and Crack Magazine, and I bought
metal magazines. I used
to the metal magazines, the rock
Metal's
magazines.
Edge, Circus, yeah.
And I did buy. They used to have this book where you had the stickers, baseball. It was baseball cards, but it was in sticker format where you take the sticker off and stick it in the book.
Oh, that sucked.
And you take it and you put it in the book, and it was kind of cool because you had the sticker, you put it in the book, and
you still got that book.
I probably do somewhere, but I can't remember exactly. But the thing what I'm getting at is that I was into that. I used to know Felipe. Now was it Felipe? Or, what was that one Hispanic guy that was a big time pitcher? I forget his name.
You had the Dodgers. You had
you're talking about back in the '80s, Venezuela. That sounds familiar.
Fernando Venezuela.
That was in the '80s.
He was in the Dodgers. Fernando Venezuela. Yeah,
I think that's the one. Yeah,
early '80s.
Yeah. I think that's the one I'm thinking of because I remember him, and there was several. I was really into baseball statistics and stuff, and I used to be able to rattle that stuff off like you wouldn't believe. I had committed the memory of famous
statistics
people in the back in the day, and then famous people that were in from the 70s into the 80s. But
I used to do the same thing.
I couldn't do it today. I couldn't tell you exactly.
Well, what I did back in those days, what helped you is reading the newspaper. I used to read the newspaper, the box scores, who ran for every game. Okay, this guy ran 14 carries for 80 yards or whatever. I used
Yeah.
to read all the box scores in the newspaper, and as soon as newspapers went out the windows, that's when I kind of went out the window. Yeah.
And I used to read the back of the baseball or football card, you know.
Oh yeah, there's statistics that have a career or whatever the season.
And
Yeah, I miss
and
that.
like with Babe Ruth and stuff like that, I used to remember. I couldn't tell you. I think it's 114 home runs. I'm not sure.
No, it wasn't that many. He's way less than that. And Barry Bonds beat him, but Barry Bonds steroids,
Yeah,
but 70,
yeah.
70. Oh, total home runs. Yeah. Did Barry Bonds beat the total? I can't remember.
Babe Ruth,
I think
714 home runs,
most home runs.
2,214 runs batted in. Uh, yeah, I used to remember all that stuff. You know, Babe Ruth. What's the other guy's name that used to be a real bad guy that used to stomp on people and everything? What was his name back in the day?
Hulk Hogan.
No, I'm talking about baseball player.
He used to stomp on people though.
Yeah, what's his name? Famous. Golly, they made a movie
Uh,
about him too.
he used to stomp on people.
Yeah, famous baseball.
Yeah, Barry Bonds has 762 home runs. Hank Aaron was ahead of Babe Ruth, of course, and Barry Bonds got 762.
See, the
But
thing with what bothered me about it is that when they're trying to compare from today's stuff, but even back when I was a kid, today's stuff to the previous stuff, 714 home runs, and I'm talking about those hard hand wound balls, you know,
yeah,
having to use wood bats. Then you had Hank Aaron, and the baseball fields were different lengths. The bats were different. The balls were different. Everything was more uniform in Hank's day
yeah.
compared
And you
to
don't
back.
at Babe's Ruth Day, you don't see anybody in the top like 20 that was back from his day. You know, it was only him. So
And the thing about I was just about to say is that everything was pretty much uniform in Hank's. And I don't dismiss Hank's accomplishment. I'm just saying that to compare it to Babe is kind of messed up because Babe had more adversity against him in the sense of variables. You know what I'm saying? Because Hank had more uniform. The balls are made the same way by
right.
machine, hard wound.
Right.
The
That's why I said Babe. If you look at the top 20 home run hitters, Babe Ruth is the only one back from those days.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of them are all from 1950 till now.
Yeah. Because everything became more uniform.
Right.
Everything became more consistent. And back in Babe's day, you couldn't tell whether the ball was going to be hard wound or loose wound because it was made by hand, most of them.
Yeah, Lou Gehrig had 493s, and he's number 29.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if anybody else is.
So that's what gets me about that. It's not so much, and the field, the length of the field got different.
Well, yeah, and Babe Ruth, no matter anyhow. I mean, he was in the home run lead for so long. I mean, even if somebody passed him, Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds. I mean, for so long, from 1920 or 30 something, all the way up to 1970s. Yeah, and then the early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general that when you think about the variables involved, the consistency of the equipment and the fields and the differences and everything, you have to say Babe is probably one of the greatest. I mean,
right.
If not the greatest, one of the greatest, no matter which way you look at it. And
you
then
want to hear the top 10, Jammer?
Let me just say this. Then if you were to say the more modern ones, Hank Aaron, most definitely. Hank Aaron's right there.
Yeah. Now here's the top 10, and you know some of them done steroids. All right, we'll start at number 15. Let's go at 15. Manny Ramirez probably had steroids, right?
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, probably natural. I don't know if they done steroids in the 70s. Who
I
knows?
I don't. And here's the thing about Reggie. I don't think Reggie's character would allow him to use
Yeah.
artificial. Now, don't tell me. Don't get me wrong. That could be just me hoping for the best on that because I like to think Reggie was better than that, but you never know.
Yeah. Number 12 is Harmon Clayton Kilbrew Jr., played for Minnesota Twins. I never heard of him, but he's got 573 career home runs.
Wow.
Number 11, Mark McGuire. You know, he did steroids.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mark.
I liked him. I wish
I
he didn't
did
do
too.
steroids, but
I was
when
very
that came out,
disappointed.
Frank Robinson, you know, he didn't do steroids. Shit.
Yeah.
Number 10, 586 home runs. Sammy Sosa, of course, steroids, 609. Jim Tomei, he played for like the Twins and Cleveland Indians. I'm pretty sure he did steroids. He was a pretty bulky guy. So Ken Griffey Jr., 630 home runs. He was never a big bulky guy, so I don't think he's done steroids or anything. You never know.
That's one that I would put a big question mark on there.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because he's didn't look big and powerful. You know, he never looked big. He hit home runs all the time though.
Yeah.
Willie Mays, of course, number 6. Alex Rodriguez, steroids. He even admitted to it.
You know, Willie Mays. That's Willie Mays. I have to give it up there. You know.
Yeah, he is the center field. The song "Center Field" by John Fogerty.
Yeah.
So that's him.
Ty Cobb was the guy I was thinking of that used to stomp on people and stuff like that.
Oh, Ty Cobb, yeah. Next, Albert Pujols probably have done steroids. Yeah. Babe Ruth. Albert Pujols has 703 home runs. He's number 4.
Let me tell you, Babe Ruth. I think the most he did was alcohol and cigars
and prostitutes.
Prostitutes, yeah.
714
and just
runs.
wild women too. And the thing that gets me about, and this is what impresses me, Babe Ruth, he could be out all night on a bender, you know, partying hardy, drinking and chasing women,
right,
all night long. Be up all night long. Go. Walk on the field the next day. I mean, straight from the bar right to the field. Get out on the field. Boom. Baseball out of the park. Running around the bases. And here's the question that I always bring up with Babe Ruth. Imagine he was that good when he was drinking, when he was buzzed, he was drunk. Could you imagine if he was sober? And then 2 questions pop up. One, maybe the drinking helped him because he was loose and flexible and just swinging the bat, you know. Maybe that helped him. And then again, maybe it hindered him from being even better because if he was sober, maybe he would have been able to hit more home runs. You know, that's the question that boggles the mind, because there's a zone right there, and we used to call it the buzz zone. Remember when we were bowling?
Yeah.
If you were right on the ultimate buzz level,
right, the
cusp, you were doing great.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, you were in that zone. So I like to think
guess what?
Babe,
10, 15 minutes later, you're out of the zone.
Yeah, because then you drank more or you didn't drink enough.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I like to think that in a way that Babe Ruth was actually benefited from his drinking.
Yeah. I tell you what, Jared, this is the gift of it with home runs. Number 200, or wait. Yeah, 225th on the list is Bob Allison. He had 256 career home runs. I don't know who the hell Bob Allison is, but Chase Utley, I've heard of him. Played for Philly and the Dodgers. He had 259 career home runs. Derek Jeter, 260. He's number 307. Or not 307. He's tied with somebody. Anyhow, but you look at all the lists, all the great players you see through the whole list, but they're way down. 202, whatever.
Yeah, there's nobody in comparison that comes close to Babe Ruth other than Hank Aaron and maybe one or two others that are really that are known not to have done steroids.
Yeah, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth. And they even got the ones that have supposedly done steroids. They got them highlighted. Actually, so that's
when you really start thinking about it, you're right, Shagdog.
You look here in the top 20. I'll tell you who's highlighted, possibly done steroids: Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, not Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Rafael Primero, Manny Ramirez. They're the ones in the top 25 that have possibly done steroids. So,
can you give me the top 5 alone?
Barry Bonds, Hank
Barry
Aaron,
Bonds. Okay, Barry Bonds. How many?
762 home runs.
762. Okay.
And he cranked them out a little bit, but his last 5 or 6 years, he was really cranking them out.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, 714. Hank Aaron is 755.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols, 703.
Yeah.
And he's
and none of them. Oh, all right. That's what I was going to ask next. Out of the top 5, how many were suspected of steroids?
Barry Bonds, number 1. Albert Pujols, and Alex Rodriguez.
So knock those 3 completely out.
Right. Then you got Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., Jim Thome, which I'm surprised Jim Thome is not suspected of steroids because he's a pretty big guy too.
Yeah.
He was never popular. You never heard of him.
Yeah.
He played for Cleveland for many years, but
he's one of those ones that flew under the radar because nobody really knew him. Nobody ever really wanted to collect his baseball card or anything like that.
Right. Cleveland sucks, right?
Yeah. Cleveland sucks. That's another thing.
Yeah. Sammy Sosa highlighted.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, you can say what you want, but can you do it consistently? Can you do it without steroids consistently? Right. I mean, when you really get to it, I mean, granted, there used to be an asterisk with Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron. There used to be an asterisk because of the field size. The fields got smaller from back in the day when Babe was playing to Hank's day. The fields got the outfield got smaller. The fences did. You know what I'm talking about? Right. The length. So in one
instance, it depends on the stadium too. The stadiums are different too.
That's the other thing. So back in the day, they used to have a bigger outfield, a longer outfield, and everything. Now in Hank's day, they were shorter. The balls were wound tighter, and there was consistency with the baseball bats in the sense of the wood bats and stuff, and metal and wood and all that stuff. Then you got back in the day when Babe was, the fields were longer, the balls weren't wound as tight, and
awesome.
And the baseball bats weren't consistently made the same way,
Right.
So when you look at that, you're like, okay, so what is the real comparison here? It's hard to compare the two. Right. This guy back in the 20s and 30s or whatever consistently hit 714. I mean, you're talking about, like you said, held it for over 50 years. Held that title for over 50 years, and he consistently hit home runs back then.
Right.
With all the variables. I mean, every variable there. Then different you have bats, Hank.
Different balls.
Yeah. Then you had Hank, where everything was more consistent, more conformed, hitting consistently home runs. It's hard to compare the two because in a lot of ways I like to think Hank, being that he had more uniformity, was easier, but then again, it could have been harder, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, it depends on. I mean, even the pitchers, you have to throw in the pitchers. Did they have good pitchers back in Babe Ruth's
That's
day
the
compared
other
to?
variables that you have to look
Yeah,
at. Yeah.
back in Babe Ruth's day, did they have fastball, curveballs, and knuckleballs? And now today you got
Well, they
splitters,
did have all those.
sidewinders.
They did have all those different type of balls back in the day. The
Yeah,
spitball. Yeah,
I think,
and here's the other thing. Back in the day when Babe was playing, people used to get away with a lot more.
yeah, and you got to figure. I mean, the more balls you have in your face, you're going to swing a lot more.
Well, yeah, you're going to go wild. Especially if you're a dumb blonde or something.
All right. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's interesting.
But I don't know how we got on the baseball when we were talking about your superhero.
Yeah, you just went to superheroes and baseballs, I guess.
What I was saying about you before was that sometimes you impress me with your superhero knowledge, is what I was getting at. And I sometimes like to think that when it comes to, let me put it this way. I've always said this, and this is outside of what you probably know, because there's people I know that you don't, and I talk to them. And when I talk to them and I say, hey, my friend Shagdog could probably tell you who that drummer is or who that guitarist is and everything. Yeah. I said, when it got to a certain point in history, I stopped. I didn't bother learning any more about the people in the band. It's either the band itself and that's it, you know.
And I actually thought about that the other day when you tell me that. I know there's people in those bands, but I came across a certain '80s band. Like, I don't know all those members.
Yeah.
Jammer said I know them, but I don't know this one. You know, so it's only certain bands I know. You know.
And then I also said the same thing about the superhero comic stuff. I said my friend Shagdog would know that. I don't, but you would.
We should do a trivia thing later. You can name a band and see how many members I can name for that band, which I probably can't name a lot. There's only certain bands I know.
And then the crazy thing about it is, Shagdog, there's certain bands that I know the names of the different band members. And then there's some I couldn't tell you. Some of my favorite bands I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, and as I'm getting older, my memory is like I used to know. I mean, bands I don't normally listen to, but I used to like Iron Maiden. Yeah, I might be able to guess a few of their names. Now I can't even like pop them out now. You know, it's like okay, like the bass guitarist. What the hell is his name? I don't know his name now. Shit, that's crazy. But he's one of the best bass guitarists ever, I think. I can't even think of his name now.
You talk about like, all right, so the Beatles, I know every one of their names, you know.
Yeah. Even
Rolling Stones, I know at least 2 or 3.
I got 4 at least. Ron Woods.
See, I wouldn't have known Ron.
Mick Jagger.
Keith Richards.
The drummer his name was, what the hell was his name? I forget his name. Shit. Okay, I got 3. All right.
Yeah. And then they got like the Animals, the Doobie Brothers, the Guess Who,
Michael McDonald,
Creedence Clearwater Revival, John Fogerty
and Sean Fogerty. That's all I give you.
Def Leppard.
I'd probably give you Rick Savage, bass guitarist, Phil Collins, Steve Clark, drummer is Rick Allen. Joe, what the hell's the lead singer's name? Joe Blow. Joe, what the hell? I don't even know his last name. Shit, that's kind of good. Joe Blow. I like it.
Bon Jovi.
John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora,
Yeah.
Keyboardist is shit. I can't remember his name. Tico Torres is the drummer.
Journey.
And bass guitarist, can't remember his name. Journey, Steve Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Lead guitarist is Neo Sean.
Yeah.
That's about it. Shit.
Sticks.
Come sail away with me, and
Yeah.
you'll get Tommy Shaw and what's the other singer's name? I only know the two singers: Tommy Shaw and
yeah.
Desert,
Was a really good one.
he sang Desert Moon. Dennis DeYoung. Yeah, Tommy Shaw and Dennis DeYoung.
Kansas.
Don't know.
Bon Jovi.
We already said Bon Jovi.
Oh, sorry. And then you go into the 90s. What's some of the bands from the 90s? I don't even know the band's names in the 90s. I mean, come on. I know the songs. Pearl Jam. Okay, Pearl Jam. I know them, but so I don't know who the
lead singer, Eddie Vedder.
Yeah. See, I couldn't tell you because I really don't care.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Couldn't tell you. The Temple of Pilot.
I can't remember his name either. He's dead. All the lead singers are dead from the top 6 bands from the 90s.
Smells Like Teen Spirits. Kurt Cobain, right?
Kurt Cobain. Drummer is Foo Fighters guy. Dave Grohl.
Let's see. You start naming off some of these. Yeah, you name the names, I'll recognize them. I'll say, oh, yeah, I've heard that name before.
Cinderella.
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
Lead singer. Cinderella. Tom Kiefer.
Yeah, Motley Crue. I don't know.
Vince Neil.
Yeah,
that's the easy one.
Tommy Lee. Tommy
Lee, Vince Neil, Mick Mars, and
I almost said Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, Tommy Lee and Nikki Sixx.
Nikki Sixx. All right, so right there, Motley Crue. I know more than I do with some of the others.
Yeah,
and that's an '80s band. Huey Lewis and the News. I know Huey Lewis. I know the News.
Yes. I don't know the rest of the band. Yeah.
I don't know the rest. The News is the
Poison?
News. Yeah.
No Poison.
What's his name?
Brett
Simmons. Brett Farr.
I like that. Brett Michaels.
Brett Michaels, yeah.
Brett Michaels. CC
Conan.
DeVille, Ricky,
yeah.
Drummer is Ricky
Van Shelton.
Rocket. And the bass guitarist is Bobby
Lee Jones.
Doll. I like this game. Let's go with another band. Let's do Rat, just for heaven's sakes. Steven, lead singer is Steven
Nicks.
Piercy. Guitarist Robin
Jones.
Crosby.
Oh.
The other guitarist is Warren
Buffett.
DiMartini. The bass guitarist.
The funny thing is, I know all those names that you just named. I was playing around.
I want to hear you. Get the bass guitarist. Juan
Diaz.
Crouchier.
Oh.
The drummer is Bobby
Lee Jones.
Bloster.
All I know is Bobby Lee Jones gets around.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, in general, Motley Crue, I knew more band members. Rat, I knew more band members. It's about the 80s going into the 90s is when I just didn't care.
Let's do Guns N' Roses. Axl
Rose.
Duff.
Beer.
McKagan. Close. Sluh.
Dog.
No, Sluh.
Slaw.
He only has one name. I'm going to give you the beginning of the name.
Slash.
Izzy.
Bop.
Stradlin. I don't know the original drummer's name actually on that one. So
I couldn't tell you. But what I'm getting at is going in the 80s into the 90s. After the 90s, I could care less. It's like, okay, I know the bands, Green Day, whatever. So what is that other one?
Yeah.
Blues Traveler, and
Oh yeah.
all the. I know the names. If you were to actually tell me, ask me who the lead singer is, I
I
don't
wouldn't.
care.
Yeah. It's usually bands you liked it from your youth. The people that are youth right now, 14 to 24 years old, 40 years from now, they ain't gonna remember people that are, you know.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that to a degree. I guess it meant more back then, but
Yeah.
but here's the thing about it. Even then, I wasn't diving in so much into the reason I liked Rat. The reason I know more of Rat, and I joked around about it, is because when Rat came out, I was thinking, okay, their first album, I got it. Boom. This is going to be the band that I keep every album of. That's what I thought when I said, all right, I love this band. I'm going to buy this album.
Oh,
And
you
from
should
here
have.
on out,
I said you should have.
I did.
No, the rest of the albums.
Well, I did buy them. I think I got every one of their albums except maybe
Oh.
two.
See, a couple their album like "Reach for the Sky." When I first heard that one, I was like, "Wow, this is kind of crappy." But after I listened to it a few times, I'm like, oh, "Okay, they went a little bit more of a blues type rock." Yeah.
No.
But you know,
But what I was getting at is that I remember them because I really dived in. I invested more into it,
yeah.
and that's what
I actually stole out of the cellar record from my friend's girlfriend's brother.
Hey, the one sin.
Oh, beer time. Good evening, gents. Yes, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually stole. We were staying the night. Me and my friend were hanging out one night. Told all of our mothers we were staying somewhere. We hanging out all night. We went to my friend's sister's boyfriend's apartment. He said, "Hey, you guys hang out at my apartment." We went there, and we were gonna go warm up a pizza in his oven. There was roaches all in the oven. Anyhow,
Oh, God.
he had a couple records, and we all stole some records from him. I got like Quiet Riot, Mental Health, Rat Out of the Cellar, and Motley Crue Shout at the Devil, and my friends took other ones. Yeah, we all stole them.
That's terrible.
That was my first experience of having. I mean, I've heard most of the
thievery.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I know.
And you had Rat Out of the Cellar because you were refusing to eat roaches out of the oven.
Right. That's true. But yeah.
Yeah, we're 52 minutes in on this one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like close this one out, Jerry. You went too far.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and get to the next beer because I'm thirsty.
I don't even know if I can edit any of the good shit out of this one.
I know it's been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the next beer. What do you think? Thanks, One Sin, for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for joining in and watching, commenting, man. We are the Spitter Swallow Beer Review. I am Jammer.
I'm Shagdog.
We'll see you on the next one, guys.